Hey guys, my name is Lizzie, and I'm an upcoming graduate here at SU. I'm a public health major, and I actually took Capstone last spring, and my group had a lot of success. So, Dr. Gullenberg asked if I would come and speak to you all about my experiences and give you some advice on how to work in a group and how to be successful, and how this course can actually impact your future. But unfortunately, I work for Valley Health in pediatrics, and so I'm actually on call today. So I'm going to miss speaking to you in person, but I wanted to record this for you. So hopefully you can take a few minutes out of your day, listen to what I have to say, listen to some of my advice, and hopefully it'll help you be successful. So, like I said, my group of students from last spring for Capstone, we focused on a minority group with a disability. And my group chose veterans, specifically those who were college age between 18 and 25 with PTSD. And we developed a program where they could journal their experiences and use it as a method and a means of coping with their PTSD. We went on to present at the Research Symposium, which you all will have the opportunity of doing as well. And we got a lot of attention. We got a lot of positive feedback from members of the community. And overall, our program was a really good success. And we succeeded because we really worked together as a team. And when you're working on a project like this, that's course long, or it's a semester long, or it's over a period of several months, and you're working with the same team members every week, that to it's really important to remember that you all are working towards the same goal, which is to really create this program that you've chosen. And at this point, you're all seniors and juniors, so you should already have some experience working in the team environment. And the most successful teams are the ones who learn to overcome conflict together. You know, when you're working in a group, you're not always going to like your team members. You may not always see eye to eye. You may be in a group with people that you would never associate with outside of this team project, and that's okay because in the real world, you aren't going to like every person you encounter. But the reality is, whether it's for a class or whether it's in your future career, you are going to have to learn to cohabitate in a group. And you may find that the more you put the project a priority, and the more you focus on fine tuning your individual contribution and how it betters the group, conflict will tend to kind of fall toward the wayside. You know, some things that we remembered working as a group was that this is temporary. You're not going to be in this group forever. But that doesn't mean you should put any less effort into your contribution. But remembering that it's not permanent, that it's temporary, and that you are going to move on to bigger and better things is sometimes a relief. It's also really important to be respectful and to treat your team members the way that you would want to be treated. You know, if you show up to a meeting and you're in a bad mood, if you're not willing to compromise, if you just have a negative attitude, don't be surprised when your group members start to treat you that way as well. You know, they are just responding to the way you're acting. And so sometimes it's really important to compromise, to find a balance. And sometimes working in a team means that you just place people where they excel most, and that can help improve a group dynamic by allowing members to focus on what they do best and focus on what their strengths are. Sometimes it can help bring a team together. It's also really important to address conflict early on, and honesty is the best way to address a conflict. You know, if you find that you're in a group with somebody that you may not get along with, sometimes it's best just to tell them that. You know, you want to be honest with who you're working with, and that's okay to be honest. You know, if I was working with somebody and I didn't really get along with them, or I didn't really have much in common with them, it's okay to say that to the person. It's okay to be like, look, I'm not sure I would like you as a person. I'm not sure that we would ever be friends, but we're working on this project together. And so let's find a way for us to find a balance, and let's find a way for us to work together. I personally had a very challenging experience with group conflict with a course that I took last semester. And my group literally had every type of group conflict you could think of. Eventually, I had to drop the course because we could not find a way to work together. And it was one of the hardest decisions I have ever had to make academically. Sometimes part of being a group is knowing when to walk away just as much as it is knowing how to make it work. But the reality is that there are situations and there is not always an opportunity to leave and walk away. I was lucky enough to have another semester to retake the course, but if it had been this semester, I would have had no choice but to stay and forfeit a good grade for a passing grade just to make it through. But you all don't want to put yourselves in that position. You know, you're in this course, you need this course to graduate. So it's really important that you guys learn to work together, to find a balance, to really compromise, and to really focus on what each of you brings to the table and how that can make your group successful. You know, taking Capstone really prepared me for the next chapter in my academic and professional career. This past summer, I had the privilege of interning with a nonprofit organization here in town called Our Health. They are an umbrella nonprofit, which means that they manage and oversee over 70 nonprofits here in the community and the various counties and the different cities. And I did grant writing for them. And what would be very surprising to know is that for as much as Our Health does, and for as many nonprofits that they oversee and manage, there's only 6 people on that team. And they do all of this work in the community. And do you think that they get along every single day? No. Do they have good days and bad days? Of course. But at the end of the day, they put their differences aside and they work together as a team because they focus on the greater good. And I was really lucky enough to be number 7 on their team of 6 to work through the summer. And so a part of my work was grant writing, and mostly for Our Health, we were working on this past summer another organization called Fatherhood Project, which helped to acclimate men and women who had previously been incarcerated integrate back into the community. And so we were helping them apply for a multi-million-dollar grant. And this organization had very little experience in grant writing, but the experience I had with Capstone, with doing flowcharts, with writing abstracts, descriptive paragraphs, evaluation plans are all part of submissions for grants. So I found myself using literally everything I learned in Capstone. And to this day, my group's final submission, all the complete documents that we created, all the same ones that you creating right now, are being used by Our Health as examples of submissions for grants. And they're being distributed to other nonprofits as a guide to help them in the grant writing process as well. So sometimes you may think that what you're learning in a class you're never really going to use in the real world. And in Capstone, it's the complete opposite. In Capstone, I found myself literally using everything that I had learned, and I still am using it to this day. So, really don't take this process for granted. Really take from it everything that you can. You'll find that a lot of these things that you're learning along the way, learning about how to work in a team, learning about designing a program, it really will benefit you in the long run. So, my best advice is to just really try to work together as a team, really focus on your end goal, really focus on making the project the best that you can, and really try and work through your conflicts together, one on one, even if you have to. So thanks for listening to me ramble on about my experience. If you all ever have any questions, if you ever need any help, just ask Dr. Golenberg. I'm sure she would be happy to give you my information, my email. I would love to help you any way that I can. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the semester. And like I said, if you need any help, just reach out to me.